Alright everybody, day 2, Sabine River Bassmaster Elite Series, stop number 4. After day 1, we're sitting in 38th place with 7 pounds 12 ounces for 5 bass. Going out day 2, decided to start in the same place I did on day 1, throwing my top water prop bait around. Missed one, missed another one, caught a little one, missed another one. They just wasn't committing to the bait. I don't know if they had done locked on the bed. I know the fish were spawning, but they would just kind of come up there and slap at it. I had like a 2-pounder blow my top water bait like 2 feet out of the water, and it landed like a foot away, and I went to twitch it, and he come over there and ate it, and then he run across the top of the water and pulled loose like in a second. Just bad luck kind of happened. From that point on, I went and started pitching my Z-Crawl Jr. around. There was some canals behind where I was fishing. Got quite a few bites. I'm not going to say I got a lot of bites, but I caught a bunch of short fish, 10, 11 inchers. Not really what you want. Really needing those 1.5-pounders, 2-pounders. Made the long run over to the Natchez again. Fished over there for 2 hours. Just wasn't really feeling good about it. Didn't get any bites over there. Kind of thought I'd made a bad choice in running over there after I'd got over there, but hindsight's 20/20. If I had stayed around where I started and fished over there all day and didn't catch nothing, I would have thought if I'd have run over there, I might would have caught them. So, looking back, it's either way. You can stay, you can go. This whole deal, fishing tournaments is all about decision making. Yeah, catching fish is a big part of it, but what you do to put yourself in the situation to catch the fish is the bigger deal. That's what separates the guys that do good in the tournament and the guys that don't most of the time. Making decisions and executing when you get the bites, that's what normally makes and breaks tournaments. Left from over at the Natchez with a couple hours, or like 2 hours left to fish. Thought I could run back over closer to the ramp and just catch a couple 1.5-pounders. I thought I only needed around 6.5 to 7 pounds to make the cut again, and at the time I had 4 little bitty just line burner 12 inchers. Ran back over there, ended up catching one more just 12 incher. That was the only bite I really got when I came back over there, which blew my mind because I thought you could go around in that area and fish hard and long enough that you were going to catch some 1.25 to 1.5-pounders. I'm about to go into the tackle and the rods and baits I use, but I just wanted to, looking back on the tournament now, I feel like I could have stayed closer to the ramp and just fished hard enough that I could have caught 7 pounds to 8 pounds a day, and got a check and done decent for sure. I knew going over the Natchez, I knew there was some quality fish over there to be had if you could get the bites. I know a couple guys that caught some really big fish over there. My timing was never right. I never got fortunate enough to get a good bite when I was over there. So, like I said earlier, going back, you could stay around there for 2 days and just fish and grind it out and try and catch 5-pound-and-a-halfers. Or you can start there and then run over to the Natchez and try and catch a 4 or 5-pounder and catch a really good bass. But it didn't work out. Ended up having the smallest 5 bass limit I've ever weighed in my life. It was 5 fish that weighed 4 pounds and 7 ounces. So they weren't even a pound apiece. But fish are fish. Points were points. I think that 4 pounds 7 ounces made me like 15 or 18 points. So in the long run, that could easily get me in the Classic if it comes down to that. Last year I missed the Classic by I think 5 points. So any points are good. It's better than zeroing, but for sure the smallest bass I've ever weighed in. But going to move on to the baits and rods that I was using. First off, the flipping bait I was using was a Z-Crawl Jr. from Zoom, sapphire blue color. I was using a 3/0 straight shank Gamakatsu heavy cover flipping hook. Size weight I was using I think was kind of key when you were flipping around a lot of that shallow stuff. I think these fish were kind of skittish. I was using a 3/16 ounce arc tungsten weight, pegged obviously. Lew's Pro TI reel, 7.5 to 1 gear ratio. Arc reinforcer rods, 7.3 medium heavy. These fish weren't huge. You probably weren't going to catch a really big one. There was an opportunity to, but Didn't really need a a big, heavy, stiff rod. Wasn't flipping in a whole lot of thick stuff. So there wasn't really no need in having an overbearing, heavy rod. You wasn't going to have to horse many fish out. 20-pound Sunline Shooter fluorocarbon is what I was flipping with. But just a really good bait that gets a lot of bites. The Z-Craw Junior is a good bite getter in any color you decide to throw. The top water bait, I was just throwing a Devil's Horse style prop bait. It was kind of subtle. You could throw it up, really shallow, and it wouldn't really land real hard. Didn't make a lot of commotion, but enough. I tried to throw a frog in practice, or I did throw a frog in practice, and they would kind of just nose up on it. They wouldn't really commit to it. And even though I lost some fish in the tournament on this bait, it just seemed to me like if they slapped at it like they were at the frog, possibly you could hook them with the 3 treble hooks. I don't think the color on the prop bait really mattered. That's just the only one that I had left in my boat at the time. But I was throwing it on an ARC Invoker Pro 7.2 medium regular action. It's got a real good parabolic bend. And the reason I wanted that parabolic bend is I was throwing it on braid with a monofilament leader, 50-pound Sunline braid with a 20-pound monofilament leader. I tie my leader to like, I don't know, 15 to 18 inches, not too long, just enough to, because if you don't tie a leader, the braid will get wrapped around the prop and it's aggravating all day. I tie the leader on with an FG knot. If you don't know how to tie an FG knot, there's plenty of videos on YouTube to go. There's certain ways you can tie it, different ways. There's on personal preference, but there's plenty of videos out there to figure out how to do that. Again, Lew's Pro TI reel. Didn't catch any on this in the tournament, but I got quite a few bites on it in practice, so I was going to let you guys know about it. It was a Dirty Jig Scott Canterbury Signature Series buzzbait, a 1/4 ounce. It's basically the only buzzbait I throw. I did an article about it in Bassmaster Magazine, I think for this month or maybe last month. But I mean, it's just a 1/4 ounce buzzbait. But the unique thing about it, it's got the lead built onto the shaft of the wire. Is designed for your bait to slide up on it, and I put a Z-Craw Junior on it. I'll either throw a white one or a black one. It didn't really matter. I like the black one. Most of the time, it just depends on the situation. But I like to throw it on 50-pound Sunline braid, Lew's Pro TI, 7.5-to-1 gear ratio, plenty fast enough gear ratio reel to retrieve this bait and do anything you need to with it. 7.3 medium heavy rod. I throw this on the same rod that I was flipping with, the Art Reinforcer 7.3 medium heavy, fast action. Just a really good setup. Good action, good speed reel, good line, good bait. That's just a good combination all the way around. But again, we ended up finishing 65th. So we dropped from 38th to 65th, which is not ideal at all. Dropped from 16th in AOI points to 30th. So we lost 14 places, which is somewhere about what we've dropped in the standings from day 1 to day 2. But it is what it is. We're halfway through the season, got a lot of work to do still got to keep catching them. Definitely not in the Classic. Don't need any more low finishes. Hopefully we can survive the rest of the year and have a chance to win a couple, or win one, or get a top 10 somewhere. Next up is Lake Fork. Really looking forward to that one. You're going to have to freaking smash them. There's going to be some really big fish caught. It'll be exciting. Maybe a 10-pounder caught. Maybe we'll catch a 10-pounder. Who knows? But guys, thank you for watching. I hope you learned something about fishing on the mighty great Sabine River in Orange, Texas. Again, thank you to Orange. It's a great town. It's a great fishing town. Huge crowds. I'm sure we'll be back and looking forward to it for sure. And hope you guys learned something. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.